The film begins by showing a seemingly deserted branch of the Texas Midlands Bank. A woman named Elsie is suddenly ambushed by two masked and armed robbers. They demand her to open her desk drawer. However, since it's early in the morning, the cash hasn't been taken out of the vault yet, and only the bank manager knows the vault's code. The amateur-looking robber gets angry and yanks Elsie's hair for calling him stupid. Shortly after, the bank manager, Clausen, arrives and is hit by one of the robbers. The robbers manage to escape. They pass by a police car, but it seems the police do not notice them. The scene shifts to another branch of the Texas Midlands Bank. A man is depositing coins into his account. Suddenly, the two robbers appear again and demand the teller to open the drawer. They ask for bills and take the weapon of the man who was depositing money. After raiding the drawer, the two robbers leave. The man who was depositing money shoots the glass door. The alarm goes off, and the two robbers flee even though their car is shot at. A security guard named Alberto reports the robbery at the Texas Midlands Bank that occurred at two branches to Marcus Hamilton, a Texas Ranger who is about to retire. It is reported that the robbers only took a few $1,000s. Meanwhile, the two robbers, who turn out to be brothers named Tanner and Toby, are at home. Their mother has passed away due to illness. Tanner once shot their abusive stepfather and was imprisoned for it. Alberto and Marcus are at the Texas Midlands Bank to meet Clausen, the bank manager. They request to see the CCTV footage, but the cameras have been replaced with a digital system that is only connected to a computer and cannot play the recordings. Marcus also interrogates Elsie, who believes the robber is a local based on his accent. Marcus also suspects the robbers will strike again because they want to collect a certain amount of money, and currently, they have taken only a small amount. Meanwhile, Tanner and Toby are having a meal together at a restaurant. Toby turns out to be a family man with two children, but he is divorced. The last time he saw his children was a year ago, but he still calls them occasionally. Tanner plans to meet his children the next day, but then, unbeknownst to Toby, Tanner robs a bank near the restaurant. A waitress named Jenny approaches Toby and strikes up a conversation. Toby pays the bill and leaves a tip, then exits. Tanner yells for Toby to start the car while running with the money. Some bills are dropped and they manage to escape again. Tanner suggests using the stolen money as support for Toby's children, but Toby is angry because Tanner broke their agreement to only rob branches of the Texas Midlands Bank. They were actually on their way to a casino in Oklahoma, but this is delayed because they have to bury the car they use after each robbery. Meanwhile, Marcus and Alberto turn their car around after receiving a call. Toby buries the car they had used earlier. They continue their journey in another vehicle. On the other side, Alberto and Marcus discuss Tanner and Toby. According to Alberto, they are careless robbers, but Marcus believes they are not careless. Their actions are always well planned. During their journey, they are delayed by horse riders and livestock crossing the road due to a field fire. Meanwhile, Tanner and Toby continue their journey. Toby complains that they will have to look for another car tomorrow because of Tanner's behavior. They plan to rob two banks on Wednesday, and Tanner says not to worry because they have already robbed 3 times today. They then arrive at a place owned by Tanner's acquaintance named Jeremy to pick up equipment. The scene shifts to the last bank Tanner robbed, where a teller named Natalie is being questioned by Marcus. Natalie is anxious because Tanner took her ID and threatened to kill her family if she spoke. Marcus calms her down and dispatches officers to guard her house until the robbers are caught. Unlike Texas Midlands Bank, this bank has CCTV. Alberto is tasked with watching the footage while Marcus goes to a restaurant near the bank because, according to Natalie, the robber ran to a car parked in front of the restaurant. Marcus questions several people in the restaurant. They had seen Tanner and Toby. According to Jenny, they left before the bank was robbed. Jenny is upset when Marcus asks for the money given by Toby because it is her tip. While for Marcus, the money is evidence, Jenny refuses to give up her tip money without a warrant. Alberto arrives, and Marcus immediately instructs him to take the tip money from Jenny. Meanwhile, Tanner and Toby enjoy their journey. Toby talks about his son named Justin, who looks a lot like Tanner. He dreams of becoming a soccer player. Tanner says Justin will be fine as long as he doesn't follow in his footsteps, and they sing together. Tanner and Toby stop at a convenience store. Toby buys snacks while Tanner waits in the car. Suddenly, a car arrives and challenges Tanner with a weapon. Toby, seeing this, immediately beats up the man. Tanner just laughs at the sight. They continue their journey. Now Tanner and Toby arrive at a casino. They launder the stolen money and exchange it for chips. Using some chips to gamble, they manage to double their money. They then exchange it for some cash and some checks. Funnily enough, Toby requests that the check be cashed at Texas Midlands Bank, the bank they previously robbed. They then stay at a hotel near the casino. Tanner and Toby's mother left a debt of $43,000. Their mother's land will be seized soon if not paid off. Tanner and Toby buy a new car, then they temporarily part ways because Toby visits his ex-wife. Toby gives her some money and also talks to one of his children. Toby says he has left his mother's legacy, a ranch, to his children. It turns out there is an oil well on the ranch, so Tanner and Toby work hard to find money to pay off their mother's debt so they can utilize the oil source and prevent it from being seized. Toby returns while on the other side, Marcus and Alberto keep watch over a branch of Texas Midlands Bank, anticipated to be the next robbery target. Meanwhile, Tanner instructs that when they act tomorrow, Tanner must not be rough with the bank tellers. They then joke around like children, showing Tanner and Toby to be in good spirits. The next day, Toby cooks breakfast for the two of them, and then they set off in two cars. They arrive, but the bank is temporarily closed. They decide to go to another branch. Meanwhile, Alberto brings coffee to Marcus, who has fallen asleep during his 24-hour vigil watching Texas Midlands Bank. Midway, Tanner changes their plan to rob the post branch, reasoning there's only one person there and likely not enough money. Toby initially resists, but Tanner insists. They end up using just one car after leaving Toby's car on the outskirts of town. On the other side, Marcus deduces that Tanner and Toby will rob the post branch since it's the only one they haven't hit yet, while the others have been robbed or are protected. Marcus and Alberto head to the post branch. The scene shifts to Tanner and Toby in action. However, upon entering the bank, they are shocked to see a queue of people already waiting. Despite being masked and brandishing weapons, they proceed with their heist. Tanner threatens everyone to lie down, while Toby appears anxious and confused. Tanner then pressures the teller to open the drawer. Unbeknownst to them, a woman secretly texts her father, asking him to come and report that a robbery is in progress. As they raid the cash in the drawer, someone quietly prepares a weapon. Meanwhile, Toby's eyes water with anxiety. Suddenly, shots ring out from a security guard. Tanner returns fire, hitting several targets. A man shoots at Toby, but Toby dodges, and Tanner shoots the man. As they exit the bank, they are met with gunfire. Several people are waiting outside, shooting at Tanner and Toby, who take cover behind their car. They struggle into the car and escape, with armed individuals in pursuit. Toby panics, as their agreement was to rob without taking any lives. Meanwhile, Alberto receives a report about the robbery at the Texas Midlands Bank Post branch that just occurred. He also gets details about the robber's car. Marcus is excited, confident that this time the robbers will be caught. Elsewhere, Tanner hits Toby to refocus him and calm his nerves. However, Toby is wounded. A bullet has penetrated his waist. He bandages his wound. Tanner embraces Toby and they stop the car, deciding to confront the pursuing townspeople. Eventually, the townspeople retreat, and Tanner and Toby scatter. Toby uses the car left on the outskirts of town, while Tanner hands over the stolen money to Toby to be exchanged at the casino. Toby invites Tanner to come with him, but Tanner refuses. He tells Toby to go and expresses his deep affection for Toby before they part ways. Now Tanner drives in the opposite direction, seemingly ready to sacrifice himself for Toby. He sings casually and swerves his car when he sees police vehicles, trying to divert the police's attention to himself. The police chase Tanner while Toby manages to pass the police cars without any obstacles. Tanner's car climbs a hill, and he pours gasoline on the car and places a lighter. Tanner exits the car while it is left to roll backward. Tanner runs up the hill. The car explodes along with another police car, and Tanner prepares his weapon. Alberto thinks the smart Toby has been captured by the townspeople, while the crazy Tanner is facing them. Suddenly, a shot hits Alberto in the head. Marcus becomes sad and very angry, asking the townspeople who came to help to back off. He then asks a local to take him behind the hill. Meanwhile, Toby successfully hides his gunshot wound and passes the police checkpoint. Now Marcus and a local start climbing the hill. The local offers to kill Tanner because Marcus looks tired, but Marcus is determined that Tanner is his to catch. Tanner keeps shooting, unaware that Marcus is watching him. When Tanner breathes a sigh of relief, Marcus shoots him in the head, and Tanner dies on the spot. The scene shifts to Toby in the casino. He watches the news about Tanner being shot by Marcus, but they still do not know Tanner's identity. Toby looks down sadly. He leaves the casino and pays off his mother's debt just before the seizure. Toby requests the release of the collateral to be sent to a lawyer. On the other side, Marcus visits his office after retirement and requests files under the name Tanner Howard. It turns out Toby had been investigated, but the police released him because there was no evidence linking him to the robbery. And when his photo is shown to Jenny, the restaurant waitress, Jenny claims she does not recognize him and has never seen him. The townspeople who were at the restaurant during the robbery also claim the person in the photo they are shown is not the person they met at the restaurant. And now Toby owns an oil well that can produce 2,000 barrels of oil per month and can generate $50,000 per month, with Texas Midlands Bank currently managing Toby's funds. However, Marcus still suspects Toby of colluding with Tanner. Marcus goes to meet Toby. He introduces himself as the man who killed Tanner. Marcus then sits on the porch, and Toby offers him a bottle of beer. Marcus asks what made Toby commit the robbery, because he believes Toby was involved and planned everything, as he thinks their robbery plan was very smart and could not have been devised by Tanner. Toby then shares that he has lived in poverty since childhood. Poverty is like a hereditary disease, and he does not want his children to experience what he has. A car arrives, and it is Debbie, his ex-wife, and Toby's children. Marcus introduces himself as an old friend of Toby. It turns out that Debbie and Toby's children now live in the inherited house and land, while Toby just stops by to make repairs. Marcus then says goodbye, and Toby tells Debbie that he will return tomorrow to fix the front part. Toby tells Marcus that he rents a house in town and asks Marcus to stop by to finish their conversation and give Marcus peace. Marcus then leaves, and the film ends. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, because by subscribing you have supported me to make better videos. See you in the next video.